we happy to be here again this beautiful Friday evening. Today is the 8th of April 2022, and that means the year is going very fast, and we in the spring almost already. We in the spring, and we expect the weather to be much better as of from today on until the summer. So I don't know how is it from your end, Paul.
Well, it's been fantastic. First of all, I'll say good evening to you and to our listening audience.
Yes.
I want to say it's been good. We in spring, but then it just been feel like we stay in winter because this on my way from work, we actually had like edge stone. And it's just not hot off in April. April is supposed to be getting a little bit warmer. We're talking about like last week we had some snow falling. So I don't know whether it's the global warming that have an effect now. Really don't know.
Yeah, but we then it becomes a little bit confusing for those of us who are now weather specialists or environmental specialists because
That's
the
right.
people they're talking about massive global warming, right? And then
Hmm.
when we expect that it's going to be warmer and warmer and warmer, then we see snow still falling, and I mean, the temperature still dropping below zero. Like in the morning today, it was -7 from my end, and then
Yeah.
over the course of the day, it became +5. I just came from out and sunshine, and then in the evening it gets cool. But the thing is, like I said, we that are not global warming specialists or environmental specialists, we get confused in the process. I would think that Europe would become warmer, like Africa, where I don't need to go to Africa for holiday. I can take a holiday right here. But we like to say welcome to you, our viewers. This is the program, The Bottom Line. I'm here in Norway, and Paul is there in the UK. And we like to say welcome. This is where we discuss the issues that matter, and we go deep to the bottom of what we discuss. And in today's edition of the program, we'll be discussing a lot of things. But the main topics right here is the rice saga in Liberia. The problem with rice shortage or alleged shortage, and there, here and there, people throwing accusations, people blaming each other. Who's actually to be blamed? The importers or the dealers or the APN terminals, where these commodities land and people have to pay half fee. So we will be looking at all of that. And then we also be looking at what appears to be a threat on the 2023 elections by the Unity Party. I have read in several areas on Facebook where people, not just ordinary people, but not just ordinary members of the Unity Party, but some hierarchy throwing jabs either at the Elections Commission or just in the air by saying that if the Unity Party is not allowed to field a candidate in the upcoming by-elections in Lofa County, then there will be no general elections in 2023. And that sounds a bit scary for me. How are they going to stop the 2023 elections when we are not even there yet? We're talking about 2022 by-elections that actually should not have been held, but because Mr. Brandon Samoka was quote unquote denied or disqualified for the position he won, and we're trying to fill it out, and we are not even near 2023 yet, and the Unity Party is threatening that if they are not allowed to field a candidate in this Lofa County by-election, then uh, there will be no elections in 2023. So, Paul, I don't know. We're going to be discussing that, but then and we'll also be discussing um, um, the viewers' comments. And I don't know if Paul has anything else that we can add to the topic tonight.
Well, the thing is, it's great topic because these are the training issues that happening now in Liberia, and especially with the rice situation. I spoke to my family back there today. The rice price is high.
Hmm.
So the importer, whether they hijack the prices or because of the situation at the port of entrance, freeing their goods. So the thing is, it just comes down to whether the leadership or what's happening, only God wants to know. But things are hard. And not only that, so you look at the rest situation on the other side, then you look at the electricity situation on the other side as well. So
Mm-hmm.
what's happening? And this have nothing to do with the war in Russia to say, oh, because of the war, the whole world going through this. Russia does not they don't have farm for rice, so it wouldn't be that. So the places that rice come from is India, and China, and other places. They plenty rice. So what the problem in Liberia is that the commodity coming in, is that a problem? So while the business, the importers are hacking the price, is that the government have increased more taxes on them? So it's an open question. More taxes on them.
Well, those are the issues that we'll be looking at tonight. And so we ask that you please share the video and share to your friends, your Facebook, and any of your contacts so that we'll all discuss this issue. And we'll be taking comments, like we said, from the viewers. So if you're one of our viewers, we ask that you follow us on Facebook. Our handle is The Bottom Line. And you can also follow our Facebook group, The Bottom Line Liberia. And you can also find us on YouTube. So we're gonna show you where all you can find us. Follow us on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. Okay, Paul. Let's start first of all with the electricity. Electricity is not on the topic tonight, but you brought it.
No, focus on the rest is more important.
You think the rest is more important than electricity?
Yeah, because
Uh,
the reason why I said that focus on the rest,
uh,
I think me and you, we live in an era that we saw what happened with rest situation in Liberia.
okay.
I was just a little child at the time, in elementary school at the time when this took place, the 1979 situation with the rest riot.
Yeah.
We know what happened. So rest and Liberia, do two things, is no go area. So the rest situation is how they call it, is political. What the word to use? Rest situation is how they call it, is political. There's feedback coming from your
Yeah. Just go ahead. Go ahead. I'm fixing it.
Okay, so it's a political situation that we have to live with. So the commodity now become political. It's a government thing because from rest riot led to civil war. So if you look at it, I'm not wondering, is that history kind of repeating itself in Liberia? Is that because from the 1979 issue went into the 80s and similar pattern that happening today happened then? So I'm wondering whether history kind of repeating itself after 40 plus years. This is something that people should really pay attention to, because when the people cannot afford to buy rest, there'll be a popular outcry. When that popular outcry can lead to something else. I'm just looking at the whole thing, whether history repeating itself.
Yeah.
So
Okay, but it becomes interesting to ask a question here: who to blame? Because if the people were to launch a public outcry, whom are they to blame? The importers, the distributors, quote unquote, because the importers will automatically be the distributors, but the dealers, the local dealers who go to the importers and buy the rice, are they the ones to blame? Or is it the high fees imposed by the put of entry that cause the importers to increase the price. And so few things we need to establish here. First, is there a shortage of rice on the market? Is there rice shortage? That first we need to establish. What do you think?
Well, it's not a rice shortage in the market. It's not a rice shortage because from the information what our team gave us on the ground, that the importers, there are about 5 importers, rice importers in Liberia. And those 5 importers, they have rice that is stored for, it's in storage. All of them prepare for a year to have enough rice there. So are the importers hijacking the situation to increase prices? Or is the government have increased taxes on the importer to get this situation going? Or is it because of the situation at the port, the APN terminal, the high prices of freeing goods? So all of these things is questions. So it's come back to the government at the day, because it's in their hand. They should make sure that these people are okay. So that's what I'm saying. Are we going back to the dark days when it comes to rest? Rest is not something to play with in Liberia. When people start crying, say, oh, there's no rest, then become trouble. And we know what that happened. The money, the increase of rest just went up overnight. And you remember too, our average Liberian cannot even manage to hold $1 a day. And then if you increase rice price, tell me about it. So it's recipe for disaster here. So I think the government, I saw the president, he made a visit to some of the warehouses that the importer have, and he said there's no rice shortage on the market. So how come the prices keep going up?
Okay, but let's look. You already said the information from the ground from our team suggests that there are sufficient rice input on the market.
Yeah.
That is, 5 importers have their warehouses stocked with rice. That means there is no shortage of rice. That have been established.
Yeah.
Okay. And that can also be supported by facts that when the president was out there, there were pictures that he took, in fact, live streaming, and we saw rice in the warehouses. That means actually there, whether it's sufficient or not, but there is no rice shortage. There is rice in Liberia in the warehouses. Now, the thing that we need to...
The government said there is enough rice. So
yeah, but you see,
when it's enough rice, then they have not given us the data of how many bags of rice in each of those warehouses to say.
Then I get confused because I mean, how does the government determine that there is enough rice? Because the government does not import rice. The government does not sell rice. So the importers are the ones to tell us that there is enough rice on the market. That, I mean, and they can estimate approximately how long that input, I mean, that consignment that they have in our warehouses now can last the nation until the next consignment arrives. Those are the things that we need to be doing. But for the government to go and force the people to open our warehouses and do video and then say, oh yes, there is enough. Yeah, I mean, we see physically that the warehouses have rice indeed. But how sufficient is it? Now remember, the rice in the warehouses that we saw, that consignment will not only be consumed by people in Monrovia. Monrovia alone has a population of over 2 million people. Okay, so if other people in the Leeward countries will also have to buy some of the rice. So the question here is the rice consignment on the market sufficient enough for the entire country? Okay, and then that question could be actually addressed for me adequately by the importers, the dealers, because they are the one in the business. Because I mean, that, like, if you carry me to the hospital and I look on the shelf, I see few bottles of penicillin sitting there. I'm not a medical doctor. I say, oh yeah, the people get drugs in the hospital. But are those drugs essential? Can they save lives? So it's the same thing, the same scenario of the rice. Government is not importing rice. Government is not selling rice. Government does not know how much we consume. I mean, they may have an out layer idea, the upper layer idea, we can consume. But the actual people who know this game are the importers. So we should be hearing from the importers.
No. The thing is, I think it's both ways. Now, the government regulate, right? They regulate everything. So the importers in Liberia, remember, me and you cannot take rest to Liberia. There are only certain people that have been identified to carry the importer to carry rest to Liberia to start with. So, and those are 5 importers. So those 5 importers, they have the Ministry of Commerce, right? And Commerce have a lot of inspectors that's supposed to go around those people to find out every month if enough rice is in the country. Now, that's data. That data will inform the government that we have enough food that will last for the next 6 months, that will last for the next 12 months. The importer will give their tally sheet to say, look, this is where we have there compared to, and the government will take that and say, this is the data we have, that we have over 40 millions of bags of rice in the warehouse that will last for 6 months because people consume rice every day. Now, remember, the entire country buy rice. We do not produce rice unless you in a local tool. Somebody may live fine, you do harvest and get one little pack of rice somewhere, the country rice that will last you for a month. Everybody consume rice. So if you tell a country, say, look, we have 40 million bed in storage now that will last for this X amount of time, then the people will be satisfied. But if you took camera to a warehouse and just show picture, but then right behind of you, there could be an empty space. So
yeah,
it's
that's exactly the point I was making. That the government will paint that picture that there is rice, okay? But are they are they experts on that? Because as far as I know, government does not import, they do not sell. So the people who sell, I should have wanted to hear from the importers because they know how much they import every time and how much they sell within a given period of time before the next consignment arrives. But the government goes and let me use the word forcibly open the warehouses because you and myself live in a place, Paul. I've not seen that before where the government will go to some business people place and tell them to open a warehouse and take video camera. That's a privacy, that's a business area. But our government does it because the government controls everything. The government is so powerful. In fact, the president is so powerful. Okay, because before the president went out, there have been this public outcry the day before, and then the inspector general, the inspector general from the commerce ministry of where she comes from,
the commerce ministry.
Yeah, she takes her team early in the morning and begin to force the people. You open the warehouse, and I saw her on a video, and I was like, how? What? Because what she's supposed to do, I think her job description should be to inspect the goods that are coming into the country, whether they are up to standard, whether they are consumable, whether they are up to the quality of being consumed. But to want to know whether the people have these goods. So let's put it this way. What if these people have enough rice? But the rice is not good for consumption. But the mere fact that they got rice, we should have, what's the English word? Approved it? That, okay, they got rice, but whether it's because she should be looking at the quality of the goods that come on the market in Liberia, not the quantity. So I was like, and then following her trip, the president himself went there because probably she was meeting some resistance from the business people. So they said, okay, let a big meat go, the big car. So the president went. He got more weight, and when he went, the people were forced to open their warehouses.
But so Linford, look at it.
Mm.
The president have a lot of things to do. He cannot do somebody's job to go to a warehouse to inspect a warehouse before he tell the nation, say, no, y'all calm down, there's rest here. So what's the road of the Commerce Ministry? Where are they there for? Where are they paid for? If we can get information like that, the president will leave. The president has a lot of crises on him. He gets situation with the country not satisfied with how things going. He does not sleep. Then you get rest situation added on it. You get electricity on it. You get murder cases on. The whole place is in chaos. You were appointed to do your job. If you can't do your job, sorry, Mr. President, get rid of that person. But because the government is all based on friendship and who know the way we stick together, we did things together, we did how they call it, the muya thing together, so you will be there. But that shows the incompetency of the people at the Commerce Ministry. The president does not have to inspect warehouse. I mean, honestly. So because the president make that move, so the inspector herself follow. And then the next day they started breaking people's places.
Wait, let me play. There was Advocate Paul, the Inspector General, this girl, Josephine Davis. She was actually at the various warehouses in the morning. Okay, before the president went there. But apparently, this is what was playing on the grounds. That the business people were probably resisting that. Oh no, you have no right to come to our warehouses. If you want to know, we are the dealers. I mean, give us the opportunity, interview, But she was taking taking it by force. But she was meeting some resistance, and then they said, okay, probably she's okay. I'll call the president. And so the president too, knowing that he got weight, so he decided to go.
No, but it was wrong. No. Before the president is not a police officer. In a case here, the inspector general have the mandate of the country. That's her job.
So what the president want to do there now?
Well, that's the thing. So he left his job that he could be concentrating on something better.
Yeah, but I keep telling you that
no,
the president.
But that's what I mean. She's not doing her job. So it means she's not doing the
president want to show his weight that he got power. He said,
we all know he get power, but she's not. So he get the power. Why he can just sack her? That he's get the weight. I mean, this person making you go back.
I'll still play it. There was Advocate Paul. Let's put it this way. Probably this girl was, this lady was doing her job. I don't want to call her girl because probably she might get offended. And when she was doing her job, she thought she met resistance. And she said, okay, I'll call the president. And if I were the president and you call me, you do your job, you call me, I will tell you no. Continue your job. That's why you are qualified to do. When I started working at ELBC 1988. At the time, I was both. I was the youngest in entire whole entity, the whole of ELBC. I was the youngest. Next to Aaron Colley. So we had Ahachi Krumah. He was the Director General of LBS at the time. And then he made a law. He used to have this secretary called Margaret something. And every time we have meeting, that lady is always sitting by Krumah, right? And he will be giving instruction. So there were the instances where directors, the various directors for the various departments will come or will be telling their workers, oh, Mr. Krumah say, you should do this. So everything that Mr. Krumah. Mr. Krumah is the Director General, way up there. He ain't got nothing to do with radio department, he ain't got nothing to do with TV department, technical department, or nothing. But the department heads, instead of telling their people, say, do this, they will say, Mr. Krumah say you should do this. So, it started getting rampant around the era. So I still remember we had a meeting. Oh, the late Ahachi Krumah, may so rest in peace. I respect him for this one. He had authority. When we have a meeting, Krumah is in the hall, 10 minutes of time. You come, the moment he enters, you come in after him, you stay outside and we'll call your money. I mean, I'm telling you straight up. So he gave mandate to his secretary, that lady want Margaret, man. And he said, Margaret, all the directors, all the people that can be telling their honor men, Mr. Krumah say, so I am doing your job. I'm doing my director general job. I'm doing your job. So cut their money. Cut $10 each from them and add it to my salary. You are doing that job. And the lady did it. So from that time, our department head now, they used to say, Mama, you go do it. No, not say Mr. Krumah say. You see, so the president knowing that he is the president and he has appointed this inspector general or even a commerce minister, go and do your job. But because they thought they were not doing well, or they were not getting cooperation from the public, or they were not asserting their power, they have to say, okay, I will call the president, knowing that when the president comes, things will change. So that means the president was doing the work of the, and I agree with you on this one. He was doing the work, the work that they are employed or they are appointed to do, the president was doing it. And so if I were the president, what do you think I would do?
Look, the thing is simple. The story goes on. Then some of our eyes were not that open, but we heard our mother saying the thing that Tobo used to go around back in the days. But our offices start in Liberia by 8 o'clock. Tobo will go to our office. The late president Tobo, he will go to our office to say, for example, education ministry. He will enter. If that minister is not there on time and the minister meet Tobo in the office, that minister is fired.
Right.
So you get all of those ministries. People are appointed to those ministries to do the job. The president cannot be all over the place. That's why he appoints people in a role to start with. So when the country starts to crash, there is no rest. What is the role of the inspector general to start with? She have the mandate to fine anyone, the importer, if they don't bring rest because they sign a contract with the government. That's one. They can take that lesson from you and give it to somebody else to start importing rest. It's all in the inspector general hands, right? So if you don't do your job and for some reason rest not coming into the country, or you increase a lot of taxes on the commodity that comes in. So now you will go to the president, so rest price will increase because the taxes are high. Or for some reason we have not had rest in. That's why every week the inspector or every month the team, they work along those people that bring that commodity into the country. And rest business in Liberia, it led to civil war. No doubt about it. People died before for rest business. So it's no go area. If you're in a position, you make sure every month that things are on track. So if you can't do your job, sorry, you're gone. And that's how I see it.
Okay. For you, our viewers, or you can leave your comment. I see one comment here. And sorry, I can't actually see the commenter. I can't see the name of that commenter. But he or she says, fire them. Because they're not doing their job. And like you said rightly, when Tobo used to go to the offices and the ministers are not there, my friend, you are gone. Why? Because you're not doing your job.
Thank you.
The government is not a philanthropic organization. Government is not there it's not community development group that, okay, we employ you, try to feed you, give you money, you feed your family, even if you work on that. No. Here, that's why I like Europe, and people don't understand. Because you see, you have to do the work that you are paid for, and you have to get a pay for the work you are doing. That's why you go to work here on time. When time to get your pay, you get it on time. Okay? Yeah. As we speak, a lot of government, in fact, almost everybody that works in Norway got to pay today because why? Because of the long holiday that coming. They got to pay. Okay? So no employer is going to tell you, oh, no, I can't pay you. No. And so you got to go to work. And you got to go to work on time. You see? So we ask our viewers, put your comments here, how you feel about it, that the president will have to leave his office when he got very important things to do, to go and open warehouses just to show people the rights, that there is right. Okay, and that was funny. And when they interview the president, and you're talking, and we'll do everything and to make sure that people sell the rest. So and you were chapping there. I don't want to say what you were saying though.
Man, you can't be talking about my president like that. I wouldn't have you talking to my president like that. That's
no.
my president.
I'm my president too now. I'm my president too.
But
Okay,
you
yeah, I
can't be
respect
telling
the
my
president.
president
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, yeah, Mr. President. Yes, sir. You didn't chap. You. But you see, the thing is, the president had no. It was just a telephone call. If they took a phone and called the president, or if the president was, I guess two things happen here. Josephine Davis and her team on the field might have called the president and say, "Oh, Mr. President, these people they get it rebel, they want to open it, and when we come, they give you a hard time." Then the president said, "Okay, maybe I come in there," or they say, "Mr. President, please come." I want a scenario. Or the president was watching, and he saw that it wasn't easy on the field, so he said, "Oh, Maggie, and the common minister, you all get behind me. Let's go to that place. Let me put them open the warehouse." And one of those two things happen, knowing that the president has weight. So when I sat and saw the video or the live, I saw McGill, Minister McGill, in an interview, not even interview, you're talking randomly to the press, because the press will all war. We'll deal with these people. We'll go after them. If they don't sell it right, we'll go after them. Something that seemed like a threat to me, Paul. That Paul, you sign a contract with the government, or besides signing a contract with the government to import rice. You are a businessman. You import your rice. You pay your duties. You pay your taxes to government. Okay, you're supposed to be free and independent. Okay, in as much as you sign a contract, but you're supposed to be free and independent. Nobody determines the price that you pay for your thing abroad. The commodity we're talking about is not from Liberia, it's from abroad. Okay, and we all know the hardship. So nobody, the government cannot even set the price for you. What they could do is to negotiate, and the negotiation should be in a way that you give and take, right? You rice importers, we know things are hard. You spending enough money to import the rice as compared to before. So what do you think we can do? Okay, rice importer will say, okay, Mr. President, either the taxes are too high, because I understand that they don't have any tariff on rice. So drop the taxes we pay, not drop it, but reduce it. Or the fees that we pay at the port is so high. So let's talk to the people who manage the port to either reduce our duty. So you see, it's all about negotiation, but it's not sufficient to take all the government ministers and put them behind you, Mr. President, and you go and intimidate. I would call it for intimidation. I mean, but George as a president of Liberia. George as Paul will come in. George as a president of Liberia. Who will see George as standing before him with all the army people and the police and all the bodyguard, and he tells you, hang yourself, you hang yourself. You can't say no. So that was intimidation. That was intimidation, Mr. President. You don't do that. You negotiate with your people. Come in, Paul.
So tomorrow, when people stop getting water supply, that means the president will have to leave his office to go to water and sewer, or to go to the place that the river they're getting the water from, to see why the water pipe is not coming through. So if the people are incompetent, you get rid of them. As simple as that. They are there to do their job. If they can't do their job, get rid of them. The incompetency in the government is too much. It's all over the place. Look.
Yeah, but do you
let me bring out this.
That
Minister
McGill.
Hold on.
I mean, you think it was wise that Minister McGill was not issuing threats to go after these people?
But who is he to issue threat?
He's Minister of State for Presidential
Affairs. He's just a chief of staff to the president.
He and the president can sit there and write the agenda every morning.
But he's just a chief of staff. He's nobody to issue threat to anyone.
Somebody. He is somebody.
Well, my man, he's just an advisor to the president, the chief of staff.
Right.
The country did not give the chief of staff the mandate. They gave the president the mandate.
The president takes order from him. The president listens to him.
Well, then that means the president is incompetent. That's why the contract was given to him, not McGee.
No.
No, but
don't tell
that's
my
what I'm
president
saying.
that.
If he said there, your advisor gave threat to people, that means you're not doing your job. I mean, let's be honest here. That's how I see it. Look, the president traveled. He returned into the country. All the ministers, the directors, the supervisors, they leave their job to go queue up to meet this president. So what does that tell you? Your ministry get function to carry on. This man traveled to go do other business, probably to negotiate for money or something. You left your job that is all to be doing something good. You took hours to go meet him. Now there's rush shortage. The time they take to follow him, they're not doing their job. That
Yeah,
means, yeah,
but
be honest here.
yeah, but there is something called there is something called justification of inclusion. You got to justify your inclusion. Why are you a minister in my government? So if I travel and I'm coming back, come and pay homage to me. Oh, Mr. President, yes, welcome,
No,
sir.
it does not. It's not it. When Ellen that travel, she became the how to call it, the president and the foreign minister. Every time she travel, you ever saw minister gather to go meet her? You not even know she gone, she in. But why is this group that every time this man travel to go negotiate for something on his way back, he come in 2 o'clock, they leave their homes, they're not going to workplace, they all go sit on the airport, say they're waiting. They don't have work to do. I mean, for Christ's sake.
That's part of the world. I
No,
mean,
not part of the work. It's just the incompetency. That's all. Because if I got work to do, I know Commerce Ministry have work to do. We know people have to eat. We know prices going up. We have to reduce prices. We have to have inspector on the ground. We have a meeting on how things are. You leave all that to go wait for somebody one whole day. And then when the president appear, they're not going to the offices, they're going to the Jamaica resort to go sit down and have a fun. I mean, let's be honest. The truth is the truth.
well, um, they say when you see Babu when a child see Babu in a mother's bed, that's his father. So we just gotta accept it. And when you give Babu your baby, to if you make Babu your babysitter, you gotta put your heart in ice because Babu will be claiming with the baby and falling down. That's what we're going through now. But
No, but
let's
I mean, that parable is great, but I would say it's democracy. When democracy is in place, this is where you get. You make good decision, you get it right. You make bad decision, you get it wrong. So it's democracy in place. The people wanted, the people have now put in place what they wanted. So it's actually democracy working to the highest level. Whether they fit to do the job, they're not fit to do the job. Democracy is now fully functioning in Liberia. That's the bottom line.
are you saying democracy or democracy?
Democracy, the one that get people into higher office, is actually playing its role in Liberia. So if you put a group of people who are incompetent in office, this is what you get. If you put sensible people in office, you will not get where you're getting today. And that is the bottom line of the whole thing.
Okay. I think yeah, and you earlier on started with your introduction. You earlier on started with something that happened during our youthful days, our childhood days, the 1979 infamous rice riot, and we saw what happened. I remember that was 1979 on a Saturday.
It was April as well.
Yeah, and April 14. And I remember vividly everything that happened on that Saturday. I was doing Tinter quiz at the time for Pastor Teenage and was supposed to be quizzing against G.W. Gibson that night. And our expectations were high. And this thing interrupted our quizzing. And we thought that it was just going to be something light, but people died in the process. And it was all because of just rumor of increase of the price of rice, that the government is willing to increase the price of rice. And people took to the streets. And people felt that no, this is not fair enough to us. So they had to resist it. Okay? And we saw what happened. So this day went down in history as one of the bad days for Liberia in April. And not only the rest riot, April 12th happened again, where we had a coup. And then April 6th again, 1996. So we've had a series of things happening in April. Not related to this particular rest incident, though, but on a larger scale, the problem with rice and Liberians is a serious problem. There is no way, because every country has a stable food. Okay, in the West, people mix their diet. People got rice. Some people don't eat rice at all. I met people here who have not eaten rice before. They eat potatoes, they eat bread, because you got variety of things. And people can afford to buy those food stuff. But here you got Liberia, the people are poor. The least thing they can get, the most affordable thing they can get is rice. You have a family poor in Liberia. You can't say, well, my family will eat potato today. No, they will not be satisfied. And when I was small, we used to have this joke that Liberian men will eat everything: bread, domo, GB. But as a guy, if you eat, say, I eat all the food eat. The whole day we say, I eat. Why? Because he eat rice. So this is something that, imagine, Paul, rice is so important to us that the child born in the interior, they can burn our rice crust, and then squeeze it and put the water in the child mouth. As early as maybe 2-3 months old. So rice is not something that you can play with in Liberia.
So, Linford, rice is something that even if you don't have soup, you cook a rice and put ray oil on it, and whisk you will go. It will fill your belly for the day. So we know you can eat dry cassava. When you cook cassava, it will choke you. But that rice, you can put small oil or small butter on it. It will carry you. Just 2 spoons of rice. And so people, that stable food in Liberia, people don't play with it. So something not right.
And let me tell you, Paul, I got traditional background. And when we were growing up, early in the morning before you go to school, that rice I ate yesterday, that small one, maybe the making he finished red. That small one you're looking at early in the morning, you're warming. And something about cold rice, I don't know why you know this thing. The cold rice can be small, but when you warm it, it can
taste different.
Yeah. So this is something that we are used to. And guess what? Yeah, guess what? I got Asian link. The first time I started to go to Asia, having lived in Europe for a long way in the morning, we don't eat rice. So now, when I was living alone, I don't eat rice for sometimes, 2, 3, 4 months until so now when I visit Liberian people. So here I go to Asia for the first time, Philippines, and my friend, the people grow rice in the Philippines. Philippines, the last time I saw their population, it was 98 million people living on an island. The whole country is island of 7,100 islands. So some of the islands are as small as well. What is the smallest area? Some of the islands are as small as from Broad Street, down Central Street, up Dugo. So small. So they got 7,100 islands. And Paul, these people got some of the most violent weathers in the world.
Yeah.
Where they got typhoon. When typhoon get ready, my friend, it can sweep people. Living human being. The water will sweep them, the breeze will sweep them. It will damage their whole farm. But these people will come back and plant rice. I was there in 2000 was that 2010? No, 2011 or 12, one of those ones. We gotta go there every year though. But in particular trip, I will not forget, where we had to go on an excursion, my wife and her friends. We took a plane and we got to the city. We took the mini bus from the airport. When we got there, then we had to go take boat because, of course, we will cross water everywhere. And Paul, we reached to this town where I saw rice. Paul, this thing I'm telling you, trust me, I saw the rice in front of the store. The people call the rice with tarpaulin. So the breeze was blowing. Then first I thought I beg or cement or beg or sand or something because of the typhoon, but the rice everywhere. Outside they cover it with tarpaulin. So I said, well, Then I saw that rice. I said, what the people say they selling the rice, but nobody can buy it because people buy, everybody making fun almost. And these people produce enough rice. And let me tell you, the rare rice we get in Liberia, every rice you go there, every type of rice we get in Liberia. In fact, they got even more variety more than us. In my wife said it. Okay? Every time we go to the market, I stay and I just see people don't know. All they know, I come from, I'm a European white, they don't know my background as African. I stay and see the rice. Then my man runs to Liberia. Why is it that we can't be like these people? And the people, they got, I mean, what weather more than us? I mean, no.
Look, Linford, if you bring me back to that question, why, then it's something that can really annoy me when I hear why we can't do it. We had a vice president for 12 years who keep going around boasting that under his stewardship when you are at LPMC and agriculture this. And you boast a lot. And we know in Liberia, there's few areas that grow rice. You get a Lofa belt, the Bone belt, as far as the Nima belt. Those are rice growing area. So, and we have the kind of weather that is in the Philippines as well. And we're lucky to have a lot of little banks of water flow. So the rice to grow rice in the Philippines is water rice they grow. Why we can't do the same thing in Liberia? We have Kari in Bon County back in the days. They were producing rice. Why we can't grow rice? I mean, Philippines talking about they have basmati, they have their long green rice, they have all kind of rice and thing over there. Why we can't do the same thing that we have the kind of land, we have the salt. Why we can't grow rice? And we become backwards. Oh, agriculture need X amount of money for this, and the money end in people's pocket. Why we can't grow these things? Why is it that a country that have God bless us with rain and sun, and we still importing rice in the 21st century? Something not right with our country.
And you know, I think it's all about priority setting. When government thinks that it can either subsidize, rice importers, or they can, I don't know how they think they can help the rice importers. This is very simple. We got agriculture ministry, a whole department of government set to do this work, and they got budget, they got money in a budget allocated for that ministry. My friend, if we Liberians are lazy to make farm, let's just put it this way, because we are lazy, that's why we can't produce rice. Go to Asia. Every country, the few countries that I have visited in Asia, they produce enough rice. I've been to Thailand. Thailand, they eat rice. I've been to Vietnam. Right between, not deep in Vietnam, because I'm on a border. Somewhere in Thailand called Kanchanaburi. It's just a train track and a river crossing. So the moment you cross, you're in Thailand, and we're there. I saw the people eating rice. Thai people and Filipino people, they eat rice the same way. I mean, I went to Philippines. I slept early in the morning. Time for breakfast. I'm expecting bread and our European stuff and thing. Then I go see the guys, but man, you see one guy with a big hell of a plate of rice. So morning, around 6 o'clock, I was like, hey, wait, hold on. So I asked the people, you don't have anything? They said, no bread, nothing. I said, you got to buy bread for me. And they had to buy, so all the time in the hotel, they know they got to buy my bread for my one. You see, people eat rice. So saying they know they can eat rice, they plain rice. So saying we Liberians, I mean, this is how it appears to be, right? That we Liberians, we are lazy to cook, or to plain rice. So our agriculture ministry, what you do, open up, say, look, we'll go bring experts. Why I say that I bring experts to come and serve in different ministries to help the government? Go to Asia. You got all the unemployed people. Asia is a country, all the countries in Asia are overly populated. Like I told you, Philippines alone, in 4 years time, I checked that population was 98 million people. So every room got about 5 persons. The average 5 persons at least, 5 persons sleeping in every room. Okay, now these people they're looking for work to the point where even if you go to the market, you see 2 guys will be pushing 1 wheelbarrow. They are jobless because they're plenty. Okay, you see 2 guys pushing 1 wheelbarrow. One guy holding the other guy pushing it. So I stop. I ask the guy, what? He say, I helping the guy because you gotta help the guy. So go to their places, scout these guys, bring them. Because the scenario here is that we Liberians, we are listening to work, right? So go and bring these people, the agriculture ministry. Go and bring these people. Pay them. And I was talking to my brother. He lives in Maryland County. He works there. And he told me, oh, but some people from your wife when they hear, I said, okay, give me the phone, let me talk to them. And these ladies, they teach they are teachers at TH. I mean, at Tome College there.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you got teachers that you can bring from other countries, from the country like Philippines, go and bring these workers, these farmers. The guys will do well. Okay, for little or nothing. And we can have sufficient rice. And you see, I don't understand how government policies work because I know working government before. But I think there are certain things you gotta outsource. If you know really like people who lazy, go and bring other people to do the work and we pay them.
Look, I don't think it's laziness.
No, but Paul, this is a scenario. This is how people make it to appear that we are lazy, we can't feed ourselves. Because when you talk, some people say you go make your farm.
The thing is, it's not laziness. If you want somebody to do something, just empower them. You see the difference. Liberia is so blessed now. We have a very useful population between, I would say, from 13-year-old to what, 30-year-old, they are more unemployed. They become zocos. They become pimping riders. Give them the tools. This is what agriculture can do. They will make the difference. But give me the chance because I don't want to work anywhere to just become some kind of director in a ministry. The next thing is you see glass building with big car and fence. So until we stop stealing and start putting the resources to where it belongs, the country will move. How long is to say, well, in the next 2-3 years, how long it take for rice to grow?
6 months.
Exactly. So the money I would take to build a big mansion, glass building and fancy and people start worshiping me, if that money, I didn't steal it, I put it into agriculture, we start feeding ourselves. The stealing have to stop. That's all. So to buy the machinery that evolved to have a greater rice production farm is start putting the money in your pocket.
Okay, Paul, it's getting interesting here. I think my statement is holding a lot of comments. Our sister Dolly Nelson, Dolly, by the way, next week or I'll get to you. Tuesday we want you to be our guest panelist again. We'll get to you. I'll get to you with all the information, Dolly, over the weekend between now and Tuesday. So since Dolly Nelson, I just want you to know. But since Dolly Nelson says that it is the mindset of the Liberian people, it is not a country. That I don't know which part of the comments, I mean, the discussion she was referring to, but I just want to read a comment. Then the second thing she says, so what about investing in Liberians themselves? Why bring in others?
Exactly.
We can invest in our own people by training them but okay, let me I agree. Says Dolly Nelson, I agree. But let me put it this way. How long have we not been suffering from this thing? So the people that will also be training, are they just coming in now? Or are they just being born now? We have been having these people a long time. We have been having people all the time. And all the years from the time I've been doing myself, the government had not trained people and besides carry and thing. Of course, carry will not feeding the entire country though. carry was something like experimental. It was Central Agricultural Research Institute. Okay, they were doing research on different things, on different variety of rice. So they were not really making farms to feed us. Okay, the BCADP, the Bon County Agricultural Development Project. Those are resorts. They were the BCADP, the NCADP, and the FCADP. Those three projects, they were direct results of the carry. Okay, they were direct. I mean, they were trying to help. They were trying to make it on a larger scale, but they were direct result of that research that was being done at carry in Bon County. That's why you had the LCADP, NCADP, and BCADP. Okay, so they were not feeding the entire country. Let's get that straight. So these people that we have, that government supposed to be trained, are they just being born? It's because the government itself is not thinking about that. So I'm just making a proposal, because what appears to be the case here is that whenever we talk, some people talk, other people say, "Oh man, you go, why you're saying that in Euro, you're talking, you're going to the farm." That means we lazy. Okay? Now,
No, the
then
thing is,
Joseph,
no.
let me read the other comment, Paul. You come on. Joseph Conto also says, Mr. Washington, the president, is not part of the minister's job functions. I agree. For the president to be coming here, all the minister go meeting is not part of the function. But I mean, this is, like I said, there is something called justification of inclusion. I want to justify my inclusion. I want to justify why I'm there, why I'm a minister. So tell me, we got 16, 17 ministries. So all the ministers are going. Then I have Mr. John Brown, who is minister of nobody. I say, I'm not going to meet the president. You know why it would sound like? Oh, all the other people in there that Mr. of nobody minister, they didn't come. So you see, so the president will start looking at it with different eyes. So it's like, my man, let's go show our face. Let the president see us. You know, why I mean? And the president himself want to, you know, it all depends. Joe, I'm talking to you, Joe Control. It also depends the kind of president we got. The president let to be glorified, he let to be lifted high, he let to be worshipped. So when you see all the ministers, Lano, whether they deserted their job, they are not doing their job, but the fact that they went to meet him.
Right. So let me think your system, but let me come in here. You already said that they need to do their job. Instead of glorifying the president, they were appointed to do the job. So if they can't do the job, then my thing here is dismiss them and bring competent people. Liberians are capable of doing whatever we can do. We're not lazy people. We're capable of doing a lot of things. We have the salt. So why can't we just grow our own rice? It take the money they take to pay importers, that money could go into serious agriculture. What's the problem? And I think our listening audience, I think the host is having a technical problem, so we'll continue flowing with this topic. It's about time that Liberians put their art together. We let the people to do the job. If they can't do the job, then we should put them aside and bring other people that are capable of doing the job. This is what we call democracy. Democracy is in place at the highest level. Today, Liberia become a laughing stock. It's been there for many years now. People have been saying, oh, why is it Liberians are lazy? They can't do. We're not lazy people. We are strong people. What's going on? I don't know. So come 2023, people need to start thinking the direction they need to think. Do we want to continue with this same situation in Liberia? How do we educate our people on the kind of things that Liberians are supposed to be doing? What's happening? Rest brought trouble in Liberia in the 1970s. Are we going back to the old days? So we Liberians now, we need to start thinking and see how we can make things possible over there. If it calls for everybody to put more on the government to focus on agriculture, it's better than if the other things is suffering from. Invest money into agriculture. They investing money into the president project. The president get bigger portion of his project. So that huge money of the president project, why don't you take it and put it into agriculture that the people will be able to feed themselves? You take money unnecessarily. You pay a lot of properties. Why that money can go into to agriculture? Right next to agriculture, the people eat bananas and other things, and they take money and invest in agriculture. So you go to agriculture, you see food in abundance. When I travel on the west coast there, I was in Ghana, Burkina Faso, Togo, and Nigeria. Through all the year, you see mango. In Liberia, you gotta wait for April before you have mango. Because the people invest in agriculture.
Yeah.
We get our
But
priority wrong in Liberia.
then it comes back to the argument. It comes back to the argument where people say, oh, I see Chadelia Brown Chilipre says here there are so many Liberians that can do what you are saying to bring Asians to do. We have the people or the Liberian people. Liberia is strong. I agree. I was sitting here before I got to know myself to be big. I ate country right throughout because my grandparents, I lived with my grandparents. I grew up with them. They were farmers. Okay. Okay. I didn't even know. No, a part to be on a serious note. Not until maybe I was around 10 or 11 years old, I didn't know that people can buy rice. Because, I mean, my grandfather had a farm, cocoa, coffee, mango. The mango you're talking about, we had it everywhere. I didn't even know that people could sell those kind of things, pineapples. I didn't know people could sell it because I grew up, on the farm with the old people. So, and we used to give these things to people free. The only time I know that people can buy it, one of the things I thought was that why people can buy these things, because my grandfather's farm was on the train track. Okay, so the white people always will start to kind of buy pineapple and other things. So, and the black people will go to them free. So my mind was that I'm making bad thing. Not until when I grew big, then when I was living in Monrovia, then I saw that people that we could go to the market and buy these things that I know we always have free. So people, I know Liberians can grow our food. I know that. I'm not strange to you. Okay, but the thing here is, the subsistence farming that our people make, it cannot sustain us. It's like you're planting here this year, cut the rice, you're putting in the kitchen tap, you'll be eating it, time to plant, you're planting the other one, then you gotta wait. In fact, even July now, from April, they're planting right now, but up to June, July, they'll finish planting. So between July, August, September, the 3 months that the rice will take to what they call, everybody will be hungry. This I remember very well in the interior. This time we used to go we used to go dig the yam. Okay, we used to go dig the yam, or if we had cassava. In fact, what the old man will do, by February they will start planting the cassava. So by July, August, September, we start going to dig that young cassava now to be eating it until the rice comes. So this can never help. It can never help. This is something that I saw for years. So the government is supposed to prioritize agriculture at a larger scale. That people are saying, employ all these Zogos, put them to work, open big farm where they plant different kind of things, and not only in one country. Okay, every country in life. If we do that, we're not saying that people will not import rice, but Paul, imagine that Maryland, Grand Island, Sano, everybody's producing that. They got their own farm, on a larger scale, controlled by the agriculture ministry. So the importers of rice, they'll even be looking for people to buy that rice.
I'll tell you something, Lifa. My late friend, Mr. Emmanuel Lincoln, he was a soil scientist for Liberia.
I know email from
yeah. So, and I work with Lincoln. We travel around the country, and it will amaze you. Not everywhere in Liberia can grow rice. So you get the middle of Liberia, from the low fasta coming down to the bone going as far. The middle side is where they grow rice. You see, like if you go to the southeast, like Maryland, the salt in Maryland, if you put sugarcane here, it will cover the whole place. It grows like that. Sugarcane cassava. So if Maryland is good at sugarcane and cassava, why we can have sugarcane and cassava farm?
And produce more cane juice from there.
Exactly.
And
produce our own waste from there and be selling. From Lofa County, Bone County, Nima County, coming as far as Magibi, they grow rice. Why don't focus there? So if you take $100 million and say president project, take that money into agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what I'm talking. Take that 100 million into agriculture and say in the next 3 years, the country will feed itself. So not everybody eat in Maryland, in Grand Bassa County, they eat cassava, they eat fufu from the other belt. I mean, if you go to Grand Bassa County by 7 o'clock, you hear people beating, they pounding this cassava, dumbo, to 7 o'clock in the evening. So the focus should be that side. They put an e-rest this side. So you put a lot of money into agriculture.
Yeah, diversify the agricultural activities
Exactly.
according to the region. Okay,
Yes.
one Facebook user here. Sorry, I can't see your name. That's why I call you Facebook user. That's why my app tells me. It says, "Oh, your legislators are the problem, and not
Thank you.
really the presidency. What is the Senate Standing Committee doing about the functions of these ministers and directors within the government?" Now, listen. You are 100% right, my brother or my sister. But here we are. We every time we talk, we shift the blame on the president for one reason. Like the budget. Who designs the budget? Who devises the budget? It's the executive. And who has the executive? The president. Now, if the president puts certain amount of money within a budget for agriculture, for one particular country or for one particular project, let's put it this way, and the president knows that this project is vital to the economy, is vital to the upliftment of the country, the president sets his eyes on that project and sends this budget to the legislature for approval, and they approve this budget, and he knows that this amount that was set aside for this XYZ project must be implemented to the fullest. That will happen. Now the legislature got nothing. We know they got standing committees on certain ministries and agencies and whatever. But if the executive is weak, the legislature cannot do anything. So it's you got a car. The tires are good. The engine is working perfectly. The frame is quite in place. All the springs, everything is good. The spark plugs, everything good, but no gas. What's the problem? Okay, put gas in it, but all other parts are damaged. Is that a car? So all got to function together. The executive must function, and the legislative branch must function as well as the judiciary. So, especially when we talk about the economy of the country, the judiciary has nothing to do. I mean, in this case, they are more or less, relaxed, the judiciary, because they will only be there to adjudicate cases that might or may arise. But the legislature and the executive are the most two viable branches of the government that should drive the economy. Okay? So if one of them is weak, I'm sorry. So you are right, my friend. When you talk about the legislators, you are right. But what can they do? I mean, they can go and press those ministers, press them, force them. But what can they do? They can't function beyond their limit. Okay? Have you all forgotten? We are producing sugar in Maryland County. The factory closed down under the Doe administration. No, we not. I know they had Lesotho. I know Lesotho. I still remember.
That Lesotho.
Yeah, I was young, but I still remember they had a factory in Maryland County. They closed down under Doe. So you see, everything broke down, and subsequent governments are not making any effort to lift it up. But Paul, we have dwelled much on this, shortage of rice and stuff.
Okay, so before you close on our topic, I just wanted to ask something.
Mm-hmm.
If the legislatures, who are the biggest problem in the country, they make up to $16,000 if you put all the little benefits together that they take home. Think on it. One person work only twice a week and he gets $7,000 as salary, right? He get $80,000 car or $45,000 car. Cut the car off because you pay him $7,000. The money for that car put into agriculture. If they really mean well, think on this. There are 73 of them. If you say, all right, then we'll give you 5,000 or 3,000. No car, no other thing. You can buy your own car under the money you're getting a salary. You only work twice a week because you don't even have your own office for you to meet your constituents. That one, you don't meet your people. You only go over there. Someday you don't turn up. No car, that car money going towards agriculture. Think on the amount of money that will go in, that they will invest in agriculture. I just want to throw that in there.
Yeah, I think this is what Mr. Cummings is talking about, that, we spent too much on the things that we don't even need. The government spends too much. And this thing started a long time ago. I remember when, I was 1980. I was small, but I was not very small. 1980, I could read and write. I was in 10th grade, I was in grade 10 and I was attending very good school. I was attending Haywood Mission. So at that age, 1980, I knew good and bad. I knew what was wrong, what was good in 10th grade. And, so I remember that right after a coup, Joe bought these small Honda cars, Honda Civics. They bought the Honda Civic for all of the ministers. And that was the talk of the town. Okay, so it started a long time where government will have to back out for these people. These are people who are working. So at the point where government will go back out for them, I don't understand. So you got one civil servant, you got the secretary sitting down there typing whole day. You got the janitor who is sweeping every day, cleaning the office for the minister to come. You got the security who is standing there taking care of everything. And this guy makes at most $250 US those days with this allowance of what you call LPA, which could boost, their effort, their economy a little bit at home, their personal economy. Like if you want to buy a dresser those days, you want to buy a bed and whatever. But the point I'm making is that you pay the minister who is making all that hard money, then you turn around and buy a car for him. You turn around, you put gas in the car, and it has even become worse in these days where we got something called cell phone, where you buy the scratch car. Look, something must be wrong with our people. Seriously, Paul. I live here. I live in Europe here. Norway is one of the richest countries on planet Earth. Giving in our own right. Okay. Now, I don't know whether the government here. This I got to find out. I'm not doing that research, but I don't know whether the government can buy scratch car for our ministers. Whether government buy scratch car for our lawmakers. I don't know. Because as far as I know, even the prime minister, sometimes he drives his own car. He got driver. He got driver, but sometimes he drives his own car.
It's only in Liberia.
Yeah.
Look,
I don't understand.
Let's get into the all because this is really, it drives me crazy at times when I live. The city mayor of London, where you get 10 million people live here. This former, the current prime minister, Boris, when he was city mayor, no security, he cycled to work. No security. In the morning, Boris, he get his rucksack and he cycled to work. Liberia.
I will tell you, I have started thinking about something. There is something wrong with the mindset of people from third world countries. This is not very peculiar to Liberia. Every time I talk, I always cite some example. Since I frequent Asia, I travel many Asian countries. Where you go, you see the guy standing to the door, and he will open the hotel. The front door of the hotel. He will open it for me to go inside. When I come in outside, he open it for me. And this is the guy who will leave the house early in the morning to go and do this thing for some 6, 7, 8 hours, even do overtime, sleep there. So I asked this young boy, I said, excuse me, you don't have a work to do? He said, what do you mean? I said, but you stay here and come in and you open a door for me. He said, yeah, but this is my work. Another guy, I go to the supermarket, I buy, there's this guy putting my thing in a plastic bag. When I got 2 hands, so I asked him, but if you put this in a plastic bag for me, right? Okay, if I go home, who's going to take it from the plastic bag? And even the guy at the hotel door, I say, you open the door for me, yeah? And if I go to my room, who's going to open the door for me there? I mean, you waste your time. But this is to say that where in Liberia you see one ministry, you see the secretary guy, secretary, then you see everybody sitting in the cluster. It's not there, but Liberia. I've seen it in the Philippines. Where I enter one office, you have to see the director of that office. I got to pass through 4 or 5 people. And all of them said, so I asked the guy, what are you doing here? He said, I'm working. What are you doing? Yes, sir. He said, if anybody want to see the director, they talk to me.
Let's move on to the next stuff.
So you put stress on government. But again, this is our system. So like you are saying, if only we can get our acts right, we'll not go through all of this. And we got places to place these people. But because we are not open that avenue, we are not creating that, that extra window where we can absorb all of these people. We try to package everybody into one panel, which is very impossible. And then we get stress on central government. We get stress. But I think, Paul, we've said enough on this topic. Let's go to our next topic here for today. And the comments are still coming in. Sister Dolly Nelson says, I want to do administration. Government didn't back up for government officials during tour time. Yeah, the torment. I saw a little bit of torment time, just a little bit. Okay, but torment time, I don't remember Rachel Henry's. I mean, they should have cars, but I don't think.
Linford, why would they pay you salary? You getting salary,
right?
You getting 7,000. Then they buy you for the 5,000 car. Then they buy you mobile phone. They get you. They pay for your house. They pay for your cook. They pay for your security. They pay for your driver. Then you go around begging people in the world for money. Only in Liberia you can hear this. 7,000. The police officer and the people who are getting 7,000, they only work 2 days a week, Tuesday and Thursday. Some of them don't even appear. Now there is a
poster here. There is a poster here who is posting something which I think is not true. He said it's part of the government's responsibility to provide cars for all ministers and directors in any government. When you talk about any government, maybe it's any government in Liberia, but not any government around the world. Okay, so that statement just says in any government in Liberia. Modify your statement by saying any government in Liberia. Where I live in Norway. Our government does not back out for minister. The ministry can have utility cars, if that's what we are referring to. The ministry can have utility car. It's just like the doctor. So, all the doctors are working in the hospital, they got a private car. The nurses got a private car. But they got utility cars in the hospital. For example, the ambulance. So, should the government buy? So then why the government can buy a car for all the doctors? You see, these are people, and I don't blame Opposition like this. Because you got no reference. This I would say. I mean, I'm not insulting you, but you got no reference. What you see in Liberia is what you know. You got no reference. You probably don't know anything about other countries. But you make up, and what you see, and this statement goes to let you know that if I take from the time you're born, I just take your face, I put it down. You grow up with your face down. You're about 40 years. If I turn you around and you look in the sky, I tell you this is the sky and this is the ground, you say no. This is the ground. You look at the sky and call it the ground because you don't know anything. This is what you know.
So if you make a kind of statement like this, the person knows something. The fact is, it's just misinformation. Now, in my workplace, my old workplace.
No, but you can't, Paul, let me you continue. Let me disagree with you. How you say he knows something, but he just misinformation. So he doesn't know anything. You are misinformation.
Because that knowledge he's trying to provide to the people. Say me, he knows something. He can't say he knows nothing, he knows something, or she knows something. The reason why I'm saying that,
you live in Sweden. If you live in Sweden, How many ministers in Sweden that the government buy car for? The ministry can have car. Oh, you say it's Mark, it's our man Mark. But Mark, I would disagree on that. Maybe in Sweden, but no. I mean, where? So the minister in Sweden, all the ministers in Sweden get their own car. I mean, they get government provide car for them. They don't have their own car. I don't understand.
No, listen now, Linford. I think what Mark meant here, okay. Each ministry, right? From the minister up to the director, you said it right. Utility cars, they're cars that owned by that ministry.
Yes.
They don't buy a person and give it to individual.
And give it to the minister. No, that
in Liberia, because those ministries there, they have their drivers when they're going on, say, on some sort of meeting, emergency meeting.
Yeah.
They use those cars, but after work, they use their own private vehicle. But in Liberia,
all people
buy
the car
for you. And it's a government, and after 3 years, that car, you own it. You see? So that, and we don't have money. We are a poor country. And you buying somebody for the $5,000 car and paying them $7,000, I think that's a waste of money. So pay them the $7,000, the car, take the car money and put it into agriculture. That's my take on it.
Okay. So Matt, those cars you see, they are not for the minister, they are utility cars. Try to find out more and bring receipt, or tell us more and come here the next time and provide the proof. Okay, our next topic is what appears to be a threat from the United Party on the 2023 elections. Because I've been reading places post that the United Party, they are swearing that if they are not allowed to field any candidate in this by-election in Lofa, because they have been challenged by Musa Belite and the ANC, so to speak, that because of the exit clause in the CPP, they cannot field any candidate as Unity Party in the coming by-elections. So they are saying if they cannot field a candidate, that means there will be no elections in 2023. And I find it difficult to relate the situation now to 2023 when people start by now issuing threats. And one of those people that made such comments is a very prominent person within the United Party. Okay? So then it gets me personally concerned. Why are they issuing this threat? Okay? And this person is very, very prominent person within the United Party. And even from Joe Barker himself, he said it, that they will not accept anything like that. Can you imagine? So where are we heading to? But what do you think? Is it healthy?
Well, the thing is, no one is above the law in Liberia to start with. So I can sit here and make threat, but that threat I'm making that, I will not abide by the law. I will do what is right, and this is what we're going. No, it's wrong. And I'll put it in a simple way. Me and you came together to do what Liberians you put money together. You call it susu, right?
Mm-hmm.
We both have an agreement that every month I will eat. The end of that month, I will be the one to take the susu, right? I took my first cut. Time come for your own susu, I can't pay. But me and you get an agreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
The moment we come into agreement, we sign things together, we notarize that agreement, it becomes law. Then we go into agreement. You went into agreement with somebody, and now your own agreement that you sign, you don't want to live by your agreement, and time come, you making threats. That then mean you telling me you're above the law. That's what they're trying to say here. No one above the law. So that simple is this. No one above the law, so they can make the threat, but the law have to take its course. That's all.
Yeah. So I made a post. I made a post today on my on my Facebook page, and said, um, this threat, this thing, what seems to be like a threat coming from the Unity Party, uh, how does it affect? What impact does it have on the opposition bloc? Because we are all in opposition, okay? Whether Unity Party, all the other parties, as long as we are not in office, we are opposition, and we all fall under the opposition bloc, even if we are not in the same camp. How does it impact us?
Well, the thing is, this is elaborate. That was elaborate. My beloved country is now become a joking place. I'm in opposition, and then I'm fighting opposition, taking the focus away from the incumbent that not doing anything good. You ever heard that in any country? The opposition, they're fighting among themselves, and the one they're supposed to be putting feet in the fire, they let it go in. He said, left for a mile, said, because we are desperate for power. We don't want competition. So left for a more ourselves. That's what's happening. Look what's happening now. We talked about rest not too long ago. You talk about the airport being dark now last week. The thing you're supposed to pound on as an opposition, you leave it to be fighting this other person because you think this person will be, the Liberians will favor this person more. So you rather go after this person. You ever heard that in any country? Opposition fighting among themselves to see who will be on top. You have not reached the promised land yet. I mean, I don't know. You tell me, Linfa, this is just a strange thing.
Well, again, this is Liberia, where very strange things happen, and people um just accept what happens. But my concern here was that, or is that, um making such a statement or making such a threat could could muddy the water for everyone else. Okay, like opposite everybody else in the opposition, that the government can capitalize on that, which I hope they will not do. Of course, it's not easy for them to do, and say, well, we see that it's not feasible for elections to come, and because people are begin threatening, and they can issue some Google lawsuit, and they can drag the process on, and whatever. Because of course, I mean, everybody is looking for security, right? And the primary objective of every one of us as citizens of the country should be security, because uh, if there is security in the country, we can do whatever we want to do. Elections, we can do elections, we can do a lot of things. But if there seems to be this looming threat where people are saying we cannot accept this, if this happens, we'll do this. Even the opposition, all the members of the opposition will be afraid. You know what I mean? Like, it's not safe.
No, the thing is, I think that what they can make the threat, I'll look at it this way. It's like it's two kids that come from the classroom, right? They've been having argument. And the other guy stronger than the other guy. So the other guy said, look, when we get outside, I will beat you. The one who start making threat is the lazy one. Why? Because he trying to say, oh, this. So it's just big muff. I would say big muff. Any case in court, and they're going to have a hearing on this. If the people decide, say, no, you got it wrong, they try to make with it abide by their own trust, so it's just big muff. That's how I would see it. So I wouldn't dwell on it that, oh, it bring, no, that big muff. When they were in government, the same people are making that trust. So it means they don't abide by the rules. They don't want to live with the rules. And these are the people that want to change the country. Then they say they want change. They're the alternative to the current the current government. Tell me, if you can live with the rules, abide by the rules, then you want them to get you see tomorrow what become of the country? If you threaten that, oh, I signed an agreement with this guy, the agreement was XYZ. Time come, now I don't want to. abide by the agreement with her. I want to run away. And then the person took you to court. They said, no, if they block me, I will do this, I will do that. So what kind of country you want to lead? So it's just clear example of these guys don't mean well for the country. That's where it shows. So if you mean well, you wouldn't make threat. You'll go by, you'll live by the rule. You see, Mr. Cummings was taking a court on something else. He going to court every day. He get followers. Why can he make a threat? Say, oh, the next time I go to court, this will happen. So the guy who want to lead, he does not want to live by the rules, so he making threat.
But the question here is, how did we get here in the first place? Where the Unity Party fielded a candidate, the candidate won, and the government comes out and disqualifies the candidate after the election, not even during the election, not before the election, but after the man has won. They deny him. They put a case on him. And so when I hear Oben Ambassador Bouakar making these threats, the first question that comes to my mind, why didn't you go in defense of Brandon Samokai, that your party fielded and he won legitimately, and he's the legitimate elected senator of Lofa County? Why didn't you go in his defense? Why didn't you stand? Why didn't you take the government to court in this case? But you let you sat down, you let the whole thing go ahead. They deny the gentleman. He cannot take his seat, and then they declare the seat open, and then you want to go field another candidate. So, and then you say if your candidate is not, if you are not allowed to field your candidate, you disrupt or whatever you do to stop the election, we do know. So it brings me to the point where I want to question the leadership ability right here. Okay, I take my son to school. They register him. He goes to school throughout. He goes through all the process. Time to take exam. He takes exam. He passed. For him to be promoted to the next class, then they say no. Even though I register him, the school agreed. He sat in class. He went through all the requirements. He took tests. He passed. He saw to be promoted. Then they say no, he can't pass. He can't go to the next class. Then I said, okay, I will move the other son here. I'm not even fighting for him. I'll put him down. Let me go carry a new son in him. Let me go carry my third son to go register him. But if the same school say my third son cannot go, then I'll make grandma. Does that make sense? What about the first one he carried who passed, who met all the requirements he passed?
So, Linford, in the case, I mean, look at it logically. The threat that is made is they're making a threat because there's something coming in front, way ahead of them. What do I mean? You in agreement.
Mm-hmm.
That agreement say if you leave, you cannot you can't do X, Y, Z. So the guy who walk out now, they just tested the water with him, say, you remember we signed an agreement, so you can't go beyond this. So he knows that in 17 months, that paper he signed will catch up with him. So that's why they left the Bernie Samoka case. They didn't talk because they didn't know this was coming. Because this one is a clear indication that you, in particular, it will haunt you. So the threat starts now. The big must start now. So the guy saying, do whatever you do, but when we meet outside out of the classroom, I will beat you so you can make all your big mouth. That's what's happening. You came together, you signed agreement. You decided to walk out of that agreement without going through the proper channel. And now it catch up with you. You say, oh, wait a minute. If I allow this now, I must say it will haunt me. So that's what a big mouth is about. So
they've been making some arguments that sorry, that the Constitution of Liberia supersedes every other laws of any other organization. That there is this guarantee of rights under the Constitution of Liberia that Paul Chuluple, as a Liberian citizen, has the right to join any organization and to leave at any time. So that constitutional provision supersedes, overrides overshadows every other uh, laws of any organization that is formed within Liberia. So this is where they stand. This is their point.
All right. Let me make this simple.
Mm.
I gave us the analogy on Susu area.
Mm-hmm.
We had agreement. We have the organic law of the country already. Me and you decided, apart from the organic law, we came to agreement and we signed, we notarized it. And then what happened? We took that agreement to the organic law, said, this is our agreement, you hold it. So that means you have given your input to the law, so that law will hold you. Because NEC now become the law of the land. You understand? They supersede everything. We came to agreement. We agree. Yeah, we sign. We notarize it. The moment you notarize thing, it become a law. And then you talk it to the law. It says it law. This is this agreement that Paul and Lefa had. This is our agreement. So we have to abide by it. And they say, okay, they accepted your law. They tell you, say, now you can go. Your organization can operate freely under what you gave us. You get that? So they gave it, the law accepted. So the law told them, said, wait a minute, you brought your paper here, you agree, and we'll stick with the agreement that you gave us. That's all. So it's just simple elementary 1, 2, 3. That's all.
So in order to annul the whole thing, it means that all of the parties within the CPP should go to NEC and withdraw that paper that they presented to NEC. That's the only way it can work.
They have a process
Mm-hmm.
that you can leave. You see, but your leaving, it comes with something penalty of leaving. You can leave, but when you leave, your group that you brought in, honor this group, that group will not be able to feed somebody, but you can go independent. So the organic law cannot stop anyone from going. But send the organization decide to join with the organization, you become one. Your fair candidate, they ran the one election. It was okay. Because now you so greedy, you want to leave. Then the law now said, no, hold on, Linford, you can't leave. Oh. When you came to us, you say you gave all the thing we want, implement it on your behalf. And now you want to go, no, you got to abide by it because you got in agreement. The only way until you take that paper back from us, they will not implement that law.
And that would take a long process.
Yeah. So they got stuck. And when they were doing it, they were not thinking that it will catch up with them. And 17 months just around the corner.
Well, so, let me get, and this is my personal opinion. This is my personal feeling. It's not a fact that, I think the Unity Party, especially the Ambassador Joe Boakai, made a big error. I mean, this is my own opinion, okay? He made a big error from my own perception, from how I look at things. That he will allow himself as a political leader to be dictated to by certain group of people who have interest. Now, and the guys are not hitting their interest, especially the spokesman for that group, the purported spokesman. The guy has said that he's supporting Joe Boakai so that comes 2029, Joe Boakai will have set the stage for him to ascend to power, to the presidency. Now, but the question here is, what would have happened to Joe Boakai after 6 years' time? What if Joe Boakai had done a better job for the Liberian people, and Joe Boakai has gained the persuasion of the Liberian people, and they want him to take a second term in 2029? What will happen to this quote-unquote spokesman? What will happen to this man who is pushing Boakai to pave the way for him? It's like, when John the Baptist when Jesus was coming, John the Baptist was there to pave the way, set the pace, create the ground, so that when Jesus comes, I mean, people will already be expecting him, the Messiah. So this fellow is saying, oh yes, my chance is 2029. So I will do everything to catapult Joe Boakai to power, and then he will set the stage for me. But my question I always ask is, what will happen to Joe Boakai within 6 years? Is he going to just come and lay the foundation for somebody and say, okay, let me step aside and you, Mr. Man, can take over? Or will he say, okay, I think I got foundations on the ground. I need to implement my projects. So I will continue. And if he continues, if he wants to continue, what will happen? What will become of him? Okay? And that's it. So the old man made a mistake. He's not reading between the lines where people are pushing him for their own political agenda. And the people are not hiding this thing. Okay? Oh man, even though we know your health is deteriorating, we know you will set aside and be a fast. We know that you've made your contribution to this country. You are a statesman. You're supposed to be honored. You're supposed to now sit and we come to you. We hang heads with you. And let me just go into some historical perspective here. I can't imagine Ogboloso Tue, who was a great son of Liberia from Nima County, going through the rank and file of government, reaching as far as first president for 12 years. I mean, 12 unbroken years. And at his age, at this time, still wants to be president. I can't imagine that. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't imagine Otamatelo from Lofa County, a well-known, groomed man who gave birth to several children who are meaningful citizens in society. I can't imagine him scuffling for power at this age when he had made a contribution and he should be sitting in honor. I can't imagine Otamatelo doing that. I can't imagine Okwetamo, okay, doing this. I mean, go on, name the list of prominent chiefs, statesmen, elders that we've had in the past. I can't imagine. But again, it turned out to be the Honorable Joe Boakai. Okay, that he will not feel satisfied. The first and foremost thing that the ambassador did that I think is against the norms is that first, he served in the government for 12 years, not only as a minister, not as any lower man, but the second in command. And he even presided over the Senate for that matter. He was the president of the Senate. Okay. And then he comes out to dissociate himself with a government that he served for 12 years. Like I said, he was not appointed, he was elected along with the president. So if the president succeeds, or if the president has succeeded, he would have succeeded. If the president had failed, he would have failed. That he will come out for political expediency to dissociate himself with the activities of that government that he served for 12 years and say, I was old Kappa. You're trying to gain a sentiment, political sentiment. I was old Kappa for 12 years. You were forced to be there. And you know, so I didn't have the power. Yes. You had the right. And these are the people who are now coming for. These are the people who are now quoting the rule or the laws that you have the right to be, and you have the right not to be. So for 12 years, you were there, things were not going all right. Why you didn't resign from that government? You remember that all of you share the spoils of the government, the spoils of the economy. You all share it equally. Only for you to come and wash your hand at the end, wash your hand and you dry your hand and say, I'm not there, I'm not there, I was not there, but I will not do anything.
Linfa, I wouldn't dwell on the old man at this point in time. I think he's irrelevant in a process.
He's not irrelevant. He's a political party. It's the second largest political party in the country.
No, but the fact is, the man who cannot stand competition, then he become no one. And it's glaring to everybody. We know what is happening. So let's not dwell on it. It's that I wouldn't waste my time. Look at the situation on the ground now. We should be telling people they keep the surrogates or the incomer keep saying that the man will serve for another 6 years. Every day people dying. Today we don't have rest to eat. Tomorrow there's no light, no water, no this. Everything just helter scatter going upside down. Don't worry about the old man who served all his time and did nothing. I wouldn't worry of him because he's not going anywhere. So let's not waste our time on him. And I wouldn't waste my time on the Unity Party. I'll rather waste my time telling people, so look, this is where we're heading. This is how the country heading. If we want to make an informed decision, we have a situation now. You get two people are front runner. Well, Dr. Kassa is out of the picture now from what we're hearing. I may assume that he out of the picture. Terwan is making headway. At some point, he will join other group. In Liberia, you got this corrupt group that came together the other day, say there are 6 parties that joined the economy that doing bad thing. Man, for Christ's sake, let's forget about them. Let's look at the future. Why is it, and let me change the thing, why is it the government so afraid that the key opposition leader is in court? Why? What is about this guy that they're afraid of? I think we should be talking about the issue here, the one that the government is afraid of. The court case with this Sereno Seaford dragging this man into court for what? The opposition leader fighting this one man for what? So let me focus here.
Okay, yeah, but sorry. The thing here is it is glaring. We don't need any rocket scientists to come and tutor us and tell us why Mr. Cummings is being tested the way he is being tested. And just my own take on the whole court case and why Mr. Cummings is going through this. I think it's good enough that Mr. Cummings should be tested the way he's been tested. And if you ask me why, I will answer you. The reason is that we've had leaders who have not gone through any test, who have not withstood the test of time. But Mr. Cummings is one man who is very resolute. After elections, this gentleman did not pack his bag and leave and go sit down and do different things. He stayed focused. He has been focused from the past election until now. And he's been making headways, reaching out, something that the other political parties do not do. And so they see this man as some special guy. I mean, this is a guy who came 18 months to election and he came 5th place, and that would have discouraged him to pack his bag and go. But here's the guy still going around. Let's do something to bring him down. They put in his own group that he joined, talking to court, but still the man's not wearing. The man's moving every day. So they see something. There is something. I've always asked this question. 5 years back, why was Ellis Cummings not important that nobody pay attention? But now, 5 years forward, he had become this man that supposed to be figuring documents, supposed to be in court, people should be finding all the fault on. So, like you said, there is no other explanation. The fact is that Mr. Cummings has become the leading political figure in Liberia. Okay, yeah. He has become the leading political figure in Liberia, and that there is nothing that other people can do. The only thing they can begin to do right now is what they are doing, and they cannot do more than what they're doing.
But no, that's what I'm saying. Is the focus now? You can't say testing somebody, accuse them falsely, take them to court unnecessarily. You have no evidence. Now the man, what happened now today? They asking for the man. They asking for Mark Zuckerberg, who owns Facebook and WhatsApp, to now can testify that he must produce the WhatsApp. What sort of nonsense is this?
No, but Paul, wait. I mean, this alone should tell you. This should tell you that the case is out. I don't see Facebook, WhatsApp, and all the other apps that we use on the social media. They are protected under their own law. You join, before you join them, you got to sign You got to agree, do that agreement and click and agree before you can even memo. So
Yeah,
some of
but I
that law
know
is
that, but just tell you how the nonsensical of the whole case that
yeah, but that's what I'm
this,
telling you. The case, this is no more case.
well,
It's just a
but
matter of time.
there's no more
Because
case
number
until the
one,
corrupt judge can say there's no more case. As long as the corrupt judge is continue with their case.
okay, but that's okay, wait. I agree. But one question then I want to ask our judge is how do they get evidence? Because the people that took Mr. Cummings to court, they are not producing any evidence. And you want so it will be then now is just straight now Mr. Cummings will be relaxed. Mr. Cummings got no.
The purpose of this case was fraudulent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's no longer. The next thing say he might bring passport with traveling with visa in it. After that whole thing, they come out now. Oh, yeah, the man produced WhatsApp detail. So
No,
where is heading?
But Paul, I think you agree with me. The same thing we say. This is no more case. The case has ended. It's
Yeah,
just
but
a matter of the
it's
judge.
not ended. So the whole thing is going to drag it on. It's not yet end.
At the end of the day, I mean, no matter how long it drags, but at the end of the first and foremost thing is that the case has no magnitude that can stop Mr. Cummings from participating in the elections.
No. It
Okay.
have an effect on him because what happened when he's supposed to be campaigning, the day he's supposed to go campaigning, send him to court.
Oh no, but Mr. Cummings does not have to be on the field physically all the time. No.
Well,
yeah. I mean, I agree. I understand what you mean. But for me, I am saying that the case as it stands, it has no magnitude. The case is not to be true.
We all know it have no market. So why the government can dismiss the case?
Why are you worried? So the play. No, let me tell you. Why I was trying to say, and you stop me, is that if they want WhatsApp to produce evidence, Mr. Cummings got nothing to do with that. He will just relax. It is now the government that will go. Maybe they will force WhatsApp. They will either go sue Mark Zuckerberg.
In fact, it's not the whole thing here. It's not WhatsApp producing the case. It's the dragging on.
Yeah, but
so that dragging on
now. My question to you now. Make us say the government
on him.
Yeah, make us say the government. My question to you now: if you drag this case for 1,000 years until 2023, what effect does it have on Mr. Cummings running in the elections?
Well, the effect
the case cannot stop him.
Now listen, and you ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he having a rally in Nima County tomorrow, and the judge decides no, they may be in court. The people that are in Nima County that want to listen to him to hear his message, they will not hear it.
No, you live in Liberia. You are Liberian. Liberian people are, let me tell you, we get all our ways. But one thing I trust about Liberian people, when they say it for you, my man, whether you die, your body will be for you. God forbid.
All right. Yeah, the situation now, you get the propaganda list there that giving people misinformation that they don't know about. And I can give you so many examples. So it's not like the Liberian, they die for you. No. I said I was in Monrovia. I was in Wheeler when I went to Wheeler. This guy that he was a pharmacist that decided to leave the job to do his own little petty trade, going around saying he does not listen to radio. He gets information from second-hand, third-hand person. And these are the kind of people that because they get second-hand information, they go with it.
But I would tell you
so if you say the person telling you, say, oh, I heard Dr. Kiase, he heard. So when he been hearing whether he go with Dr. Kiase.
I would
now, if you have a rally,
the ANC needs to have a mechanism in place that the forces on the ground should work the same way the forces in the diaspora are working. This is the only advice I can give. Would you expect Mr. Cummings to cover the 16 countries in Liberia?
No, you see, for them saying, yes, he will. That campaign time. When campaign time, you cover the length and breadth of those counties. You can't be in court, then the government go in place and make it. You can't. I mean, look at it logically. Don't say,
I agree.
Nothing he can be.
I agree, but does that make the supporters faint-hearted? That if I have to go to my town to preach the ANC message, not because Mr. Cummings is appearing in court today, then I cannot preach it. So that's what I'm saying. The same way you and I sitting and talking, we should encourage the group on the grounds to do some work.
So why you can't encourage the government to drop the case?
So what if the government does not drop the case? So,
So in
so we should say
Liberia,
that, put our hands on our ears and begin to cry.
but that's why you're saying we must just sit and say, okay, yeah, the man
No, I'm
continue.
not saying. I am saying that we should begin to work as people. You see, in any case, if Mr. Cummings will have to still go around, the people on the ground will still have to work, like you and I are doing. Okay, so the point here is what the government intends to drag this case. I agree, but the good thing for me is that there is nowhere in this case that can stop Mr. Cummings or the ANC from running. This is my thing. So does that mean that since the government want to drag the case, does that mean that we should say that? No, we should be working. The day Mr. Cummings gets chance, he go. Okay? But we should be working. We should not say let it free Mr. Cummings before we
The
no.
people are working. They are working. That's what I'm saying to you. They are working. But you in Lake Tour, you preaching message or somebody they have not seen before. The people working. And say, all right, this man, he coming on Monday. We're bringing him so you can see him with your own eyes. Seeing is believing. You can't buy pig in a bag. The day he's supposed to appear in local tour now, the government said, no, you can't go.
Now listen, if you go to some of those places you're talking about, the people are not seeing Georgia. During the past election, Georgia did not go all war. People voted for him.
That's the difference. Georgia was the only superstar we had in Liberia. So people didn't even met Georgia. They didn't see him, but Georgia knew.
Yeah, but
so you cannot compare a celebrity superstar, the only superstar the country had, to somebody who just now appearing in the system.
Yeah, but I am telling you, this case will have to be dropped before elections. And if the government decide that they can drag this case, they will even make Mr. Cummings popular. Let me tell you, there are people who are being elected in abstention. Okay, and we shouldn't. My point here is that we shouldn't discourage our people that say Mr. Cummings, saying the case is not dropped.
No, it's not discouraging. They drop the case. And
what if they do drop it? You don't have control. What can
action you be taking?
Yeah, what can you do to make them drop it? So do not hope on them dropping the case.
All right. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, the U.S. ambassador was in Harper. He addressed the people there in Harper, and he said this government is corrupt. And before that happened, even there was the Joseph Jiggin Rawa birthday when he said he quoted.
What J.J. Rao should have thought.
Yeah, and the first thing he said in the article, our own constitution, the power is inherent in the people. The people know the case is a complete nonsense case. The people have the right to assemble for the government to drop the case. They can do it.
And I will tell you one thing. When the UN ambassador made that statement, it doesn't mean that the people should get out physically. The power is inherent in the people. You know where that power is? The voting power, the power to assemble, the power to conglomerate in huge group, and the power to go as one person in your voting booth and do that selection. So the power is diverse. It's not just one way. So if the government feels that we'll suppress Mr. Cummings, we'll make him every day from now until the next 17 months, he will be going to court until election. The people will say, the man we want to vote for, we can.
Therefore, you need to go to Liberia, then you see what I'm talking about. It does not work like that. It does not work like that.
Power. So what will you suggest? Yeah, let me ask you the question. What will you suggest?
Well, I will give you an example. All right. I get over 100,000 followers, and we know that something is not right. That 100,000 followers can petition the government by bringing them to question, look, what you're doing is wrong. This is not what the law says. You can question the government. You can petition the government. And by petition the government, it's called peaceful protest.
The government say be adamant. The government say remains adamant that we cannot drop this case.
Oh, but then we see all over the world. You saw the yellow flag in Paris. What happened to Macron? The people can have their voice heard. They
Okay.
come to it peacefully.
We hope
Yeah, I
the
want to
example
make
that you
announcement
cited.
on Saturday tomorrow before
You
we
had a
get.
June 7th protest, then you had a December protest. Protests are mass attendance was seen in the street. The government did not even send a representative. So this government is
No, that's not true. That protest was compromised by the organizer. So that's what happened. When something is compromised, that's what you get. There was backhand envelope given, so it was compromised.
but the people did turn out.
Now I can tell you,
Yeah, but the people did turn out, right?
yeah, but it was compromised. The people
Yeah,
who
but the people
compromised
turned
it
out.
told the people to go home.
But did the government listen to the people? No.
The government sent representatives. They said they wanted to see the head because it was compromised. They told the people to go home. But I can tell you something though. There were a group of women, I think 2 years ago in the rain, that protested and stopped the president's vehicle. He got out of the vehicle and listened to them. You remember that?
Well, I mean,
Aha. So
no. The thing here is for me, my focus here is that whether the case lasts from now till the election day, the people, ANC supporters and sympathizers should do the work. Get out, talk to people, talk to your household, people, your acquaintances, talk to them. Mr. Cummings will do his own. I know Mr. Cummings will not live in a co-house. Even if he has to go to court for 2 days, there are 5 working days in a week. The court is open 5 working days. So if Mr. Cummings will have to go to court for 5 working days, fine. There are people that you got, I don't know how many the population of ANC, but I think you got close to 100,000 people because the last election, Mr. Cummings got 250,000 votes, something like that. So you got 100,000 people in the ANC. And I think that number has increased. So if those people, each one of them can move and recruit one person, that's great. Okay? So the day Mr. Cummings will get a chance, he will go. The court is open. Mr. Cummings is not in jail in the first place. The court is open 5 days a week. So Saturday and Sunday, Mr. Cummings can say, go out. You see? So we do have to say, oh, let the government drop the case before. Let us work. Mr. Cummings will do it. Send the case being come. Mr. Cummings then go around Monrovia, then go around places. So the dropping of the case, of course, is vital to the elections. But I don't think we should make it a case. But I will be wrapping on now. I mean, we've all stepped our turn.
Before we wrap up, I just want to put this. We'll be having Jay Rennie drop out tomorrow. He will be at the conservatory, Jay Rennie. He will be on the program tomorrow. The man that does not take any side, the flyer will be up tonight. The guy that does not take any side, he's a former sedition who now against the government, he against the opposition. We'll have him on the platform tomorrow, so we can have a lengthy discussion on the situation on the ground. So I just want, and also comes July 8th and 9th, we'll have the biggest fundraiser in Europe for ANC, and our stand-up bearer will be here with us. There'll be a lot of activity. We'll have the organizer to appear on this program to give all the details, the function of what will be happening that 2 days in Hanover, Germany. So I just remember. So tomorrow we'll have Jay Rennie on this program. Tomorrow it will be firing. This guy, watch out for him.
That's good. I've listened to a couple of his podcasts, and I've always wanted to interact with him. And he's going to be here tomorrow, like Paul said. But I think, unfortunately, I'm not going to be here. So Paul is going to drive. Paul and Jima will be driving the guy tomorrow. So and I hope it's going to be interesting tomorrow. I would have really loved to be a part of it, but again, that's it. And so we let us say thank you very much for our viewers. And let me just read 1 or 2 comments here. And Mike, I think it's Mike. Mike said, Linford, you cannot even somewhere. Let me see what he said. It's a Linford. Do you think you have what it takes to take me on when it comes to political philosophy? No, I'm not taking you on. I've not told you to maybe do your research and how those cars are provided for the ministry or the minister, like you said in Sweden. And you'll find out that those cars are not the personal properties of the minister. I want to believe that. That I can swear on. I live in Sweden. I live in Malmö. I live in Hultsfred for almost 2-3 years. I don't know anything much about our governmental system, but what I know is that for these people to buy a car for a minister that they are paying, well, I don't know. But I mean, until you can provide a document we see it if you want. I mean, you are not forced to. And then since Dolly Nelson said the people are jokers, they just realized that there is a constitution that the Unity Party have to abide by. That now they know that we are constitution and let them go sit down. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Since Dolly Nelson said she want to listen to what will happen to Joe Baka, she want to hear what the ANC is doing. Okay, great. And then according to judicial philosophy, any contract signed between two parties is protected under the constitution of that country or the country's law. For example, it's marriage couple. They have to go to the court in order to divorce. Yeah, I think this one makes a lot of sense. So the people who are saying that if you get a contract or agreement between two groups and that their law does not hold, or the constitution of the country overshadow that, then divorce should be. I think this one made real sense. Then divorce should just be between the couple and the man. I mean, the two couple, the man say, I want you again. The woman say, I want you again. Then you walk away. You don't got to go to the court. Okay, so this is, I think this makes sense. Then somebody say, no court can subpoena anyone overnight, my dear brother Paul. Then he also say, Paul, Linford is right. You can't make the government to do what they refuse to do. So in the meantime, we will have to work with what we have. That's right. We don't have to say we'll wait until the government drop the case. No. Why they say man moving, man dropping. Why the case is going on with moving, man dropping? You guys say, oh, because one man for now, so we say no. For they got your motive today, your motto. Man moving, man dropping. If a 5 men moving, one drop, a 4 men, the other 4 stay moving. Great. So on this note, we like to say thanks a lot for those of you who watch our podcast, or we appreciate the time that you have to be with us. And Paul, of course, I cannot say thank you, man, because if I say thank you, you got to tell me thank you too. But let's keep the show going and let's keep our people informed. Tomorrow, I will be engaged, but I don't know. I can't promise. If I can stick in, I'll be able to stick in tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna have a good discussion tomorrow.
I know. I just
is a controversial person, so I'm looking forward to him tomorrow, hosting him, and we'll have a good discussion tomorrow. And being he's not ANC supporter, he forms sedition, and he's not against the government, and he won the best of his country. So we'll dive into it tomorrow and have a good discussion. So yeah, the flyers will come up. Yeah, thanks for being on the show too. Linford was good being back. Although we're not here on Tuesday, we'll say sorry to our audience because on technical issue we couldn't be on, but we'll be back next Tuesday, on tomorrow, and then we'll take it from there. And pretty soon we'll be live in Liberia. So we're working on all the modalities to get to be broadcasting in Liberia. So yeah, I'll say thanks to the audience for the time. We shall be back here tomorrow. Please join us tomorrow. We'll be having a controversial person in our midst, and it will be an interesting show tomorrow.
Thank you.
Come on, let them say ya. Come on, let them say ya. That in my business, you catching fever. Getting serious like empty river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. Yeah, yeah. We coming, yeah.
This is Bottom Line.